Hello, beautiful people. We are back on a Sunday. Woo, okay. Today I have an extremely busy day. I am going to the Braves game, as you can tell from my attire. They have lost every single game that I've been to, so hopefully today is the turnaround. Women's World Cup was today. Got some groups finishing out here, coming close to the knockout stages. U.S. has not clinched yet, so they're playing Portugal. Should be able to. They're supposed to win that game and go through, but we're one bad upset away from the world being shocked. So that's my latest with sports news. We are 39 days away from the kickoff of the 2023 NFL season, and I am hyped. Wrong hat, Holly. They've lost every time that I wore the Braves hat. I swear it's bad luck. And I saw today or my mom saw today, that the Braves are starting some whack pitcher that nobody's ever heard of. So I have a feeling that it's not the hat. And the Braves are going to lose today because they won the first two games against Milwaukee. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens. We'll see if the drill wins the tool race. I'm going with the bucket still though. Either way, seeing the Barbie movie with Holly later today. Excited about that. Should I wear pink? I think I have a couple pink shirts I could wear, so I'll probably wear pink to it unless nobody else is. I don't want to be the only one in pink. You know how it is? But anyways, we are not here to talk about the Atlanta Braves. We are not here to talk about the Barbie movie, although I would definitely do that if everybody's down. Holly, just me and you in here, by the way, so far. Yes. Wait, why is that chat not popping up on... Oh, wow. Okay, I'll wear pink. But, yeah, so we're going to do some predicting of the NFC West today. I didn't do the NFC South today because it is 11:03 in the morning, and I figured that the vast majority of my subscribers, all 39 of them, okay, all 36 of them, because we got 2 of them here, are asleep. So gonna be a less populated podcast today, but today I'm just gonna run through my predictions for the NFC West. I think it's a very easy division to predict. I'm fairly confident that all of this will be right. Okay, maybe not all of it, but I think I'll get pretty damn close. I'm fairly confident on the NFC West. There's 2 bad teams and there's 2 good teams. One's really bad, one's really good. I think it's an easy division to predict. So we'll just get straight into it. Starting off with the Arizona Cardinals, the consensus worst team in the league. And, for the first half of the season, which is what I think will be the Kyler Murray-less squad. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray went down with an ACL tear, I believe, last season against the New England Patriots, and he has not been back since. We have no idea when this man is going to touch the field. He might not touch the field, and if he doesn't, the Cardinals are screwed, because if he doesn't play, I don't know, I can't find realistically one spot where they'll win a football game. But nonetheless, let's not waste any time here. Usually I go by week, but with Colt McCoy at quarterback, and I'm going to project that he's going to be the quarterback through week 9. Let's just get straight into it. 0-9. They didn't win a single game without Kyler Murray last season. This team has only gotten worse. 0-9. This will be the worst team in football through the first 9 weeks. I don't see them winning a game at any point. Moving on to week 10. Yeah, so Arizona Cardinals, they start off 0-9. Nothing surprising there. They don't win a game without Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray comes back in week 10 for a home game against the Atlanta Falcons. And this is when it's a good time for my Falcons fans to be asleep and to not be watching us, because I do have the Cardinals getting their very first win against the Atlanta Falcons this season. Okay, look. So last season, the Cardinals and the Falcons played each other. The Falcons are undefeated in 2023. They've played 2 games, both against terrible teams like the Cardinals. Cardinals with a Kyler Murray-less Cardinals team barely lost to the Atlanta Falcons with Desmond Ridder. Now, I know the Falcons are they're a much improved team. There's plenty of weapons around Desmond Ridder. And if I had more confidence that Desmond Ridder will be a good quarterback, the Falcons would almost easily win this division, because the amount of weapons as far as running backs, receivers, and defensive stars that this team has, it has a lot of potential, especially in 2024, where maybe they could get an even better quarterback with a loaded draft class. But as far as I'm concerned, with Desmond Ridder as the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to lose plenty of football games. You can't only run the ball. Desmond Ridder does not throw the ball very much. I think 100 yards and 1 touchdown a game is an amazing game for Desmond Ridder. He'll definitely have those games, but I think Cardinals are thirsty. They're hungry for a win. It's in Arizona. Give me the win against the Falcons. All right, now this is assuming that Kyler Murray is playing football. So assuming he's playing football, I have them going into Houston in week 11 and getting their second W of the season at the Houston Texans. This is a very controversial one because, I think the Texans are a better team. I heard C.J. Stroud is looking really good in practice. It did nervous me, the score he got on the play calling test or whatever, the skills knowledge. But I have the Cardinals going into Houston in week 11. I think the Cardinals might have a slightly better, more experienced defense, I should say. And with Kyler Murray on the field, he's a great offensive player, adds a whole load of depth to the Cardinals team. And they also still have James Conner and Zach Ertz on that offense. So I think they will get the best of the Houston Texans offensively in this game. 2-9. Then moving on to week 12 against the Rams. This is a tough game for them, a big divisional matchup. They lost last season in Arizona, so I'm going to give this one to the Rams. Getting swept by Los Angeles, and I won't waste any more time because this is a very difficult stretch. I don't see them winning any of these games. So this is a 2-15 record for the Arizona Cardinals. Might be the worst in the league. I haven't done the NFC South yet, and I am not picking a lot of games for the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are a much better team than Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, I have the Cardinals going, in conclusion, 2-15. Terrible. Not a good record. Sorry, Cardinals fans, but I already know that most of you probably already expect this. In this division, it's going to be a lot easier for me to predict too, because I don't know anybody that roots for any of these teams. I know there's a bunch of 49ers fans, but Seahawks fans, there's a lot of you, but you're very far away from where I live. Cardinals fans, I'm sure there's some of you, but you also live very far away from where I live. And Rams fans, I don't know a single one. If you're a Rams fan, over here you're a bandwagon. Kind of like me, rooting for Matthew Stafford, but you know how it is. All right, so moving on to, speaking of the Rams, to the Los Angeles Rams. I've said this time and time again, but this is not the same Rams team that won the Super Bowl in 2021. Yes, you can make the argument that Stafford was hurt all season, and that's why the Rams' record was bad. Sean McVay is a good coach. Cooper Kupp is a great wide receiver, and Aaron Donald might be the best player in the NFL. But this offensive line is very weak. There's only one returning defensive starter on this Rams team, and that is Aaron Donald, and the rest are very below average players. This might be one of the worst defense, if not the worst defenses, despite having Aaron Donald on that team. Aaron Donald being on this team is the only reason why they weren't last in my NFL defense rankings. But besides that, many people, we saw this in the beginning of last season too. The Rams almost blowing games against the Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. The Rams were not impressive at all with Stafford on the field last season. And as much as I love Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, I just don't think I think they're headed in a downward spiral. I think Matthew Stafford's getting old. He's very injury prone. He has a scary neck injury. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes down again this year with the type of offensive line that the Rams have. And I don't think Stetson Bennett or Brett Ripien is gonna carry the torch any better than Matthew Stafford. Actually, much worse than Matthew Stafford. That's a huge downgrade from Matthew Stafford to any of those quarterbacks. But we'll see what the Rams can do here. Again, the coaching on this Rams team is very good. So we'll see what happens. But in week 1, this is an away game at Seattle. The Rams are not going to win that game. In the Legion of Boom, I'm pretty sure. The Rams are not winning this game. And we all know, with the exception of the NFC Championship game, that the Rams kind of rigged, honestly, by not selling tickets to the ever so popular California team, the San Francisco 49ers. These games, if you don't know, this is a home game for the Rams, technically, but it's not a home game for the Rams because there are so many 49ers fans in the state of California. They are historically the best team there. They have won the most Super Bowls. They have the most fans. Simple as that. They're losing that game. So an 0-2 start. You're not beating the Bengals. Okay, well, we don't know how long Joe Burrow is going to be out with his calf injury. I've been told several weeks, but several weeks could be maybe like 4 weeks. And I think we're like 6 weeks away from the NFL season. So is he going to be back by week 1? Is he not? We don't know. Either way, I think despite whoever's at quarterback, I think might have a good chance at winning this game for the Cincinnati Bengals. So either way, it's going to be an 0-3 start for the Los Angeles Rams. Now, when I did my AFC South predictions, I did have the Colts losing this game. I have the Rams winning 1-3. But Anthony Richardson is looking fantastic. If you see any highlights from training camp, I know we don't usually see the lowlights from those, but Anthony Richardson looks very promising for the Colts. And I think, honestly, I was hating on him. I thought he was going to be a bust looking at his stats in college. But he might turn out to be a great NFL player. And he might be able to turn this Colts franchise around, especially with Shane Steichen as his head coach. And, the Colts do have some pieces in place. I know Jonathan Taylor just requested a trade from the team, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon unless he holds out, which maybe he will, maybe he won't. But the Colts definitely have a decent offensive line. They were terrible last season. They were great every season before that. Players are the same. We don't know what happened. We'll see what happens next season. Solid defense as well. But for now, I have the Rams winning on the road in Indianapolis. If Gardner Minshew is playing, I'm going to stick with this, but Anthony Richardson might be able to turn this around. We will see. Moving on to Week 5, the Rams are not beating the Philadelphia Eagles. No way. There is no way the Rams are beating the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 6 against the Cardinals, I just did this. I think the Rams are a better team than the Arizona Cardinals, with or without Kyler Murray. And I think the coaching is better. I think just overall, Sean McVay knows how to win against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Week 7, this is a home game for the Los Angeles Rams against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe the Steelers are coming off of their bye week this game. I doubt the Rams will win this game. There are plenty of Steelers fans, so despite this game being in Los Angeles, it might end up being an away game again for the Rams. That being the fans are outnumbered in the stands. At the Dallas Cowboys, the Rams are not going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are significantly better than the Rams on both sides of the ball. The Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. I feel like most recently the Packers have been winning consistently against the Rams. I think the Packers have a much better defense than the Rams. Rams might have the better offense with Stafford and Cooper Kupp on the field, but nonetheless, The offensive line is there for Jordan Love. So is Aaron Jones. Receiving core, but this is a game in Green Bay. I'm going to give it to the Green Bay Packers. So week 10, headed into the bye week. Rams are 2-7. Some people might be surprised by this. I, however, am not. I think this is exactly what will happen. They might have one less win, honestly, heading into the bye week. But moving on, after the bye week, they have a home game against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this was the heartbreaker last season. If you don't know, and I think it's just still Holly, if you don't know, the Lions would have made the playoffs if the Rams were to have win this game. If the Rams would have won this game against Seattle at home in Los Angeles last season, the Lions would have made the playoffs after starting 1-5, which would have been phenomenal. I would have been shocked, but they didn't, and the Lions still beat the Packers anyway. But that was an overtime game, extremely close. This is a great rivalry. I'm giving this one to the Rams. I think the Rams are going to upset the Seattle Seahawks. Many people might not think that's an upset. I think it's an upset. Coming off the bye week in Los Angeles, 3-7 for the Los Angeles Rams. Back-to-back wins here. 2 wins straight out of the bye week for the Rams at the Cardinals. Again, I think Sean McVay knows how to win against Arizona Cardinals. They won against them last season in Arizona, so give me the season sweep over the Cardinals. Week 13, home game against the Cleveland Browns. I have the Cleveland Browns winning. I do think some people might be shocked by this, but I think I might have had the Rams winning this when I did the Browns predictions. I don't really remember, but I think the Browns are better on both sides of the ball. I think I can say that confidently. Give me Cleveland. Moving on to week 14 at the Baltimore Ravens. They're not beating the Ravens. I think the Ravens are way better than the Rams overall. Lamar Jackson, way more mobile quarterback, much scarier defense in Baltimore, and it's in Baltimore. So give me the Ravens. Week 15 against the Commanders. This is going to be a hated one, but didn't mean to do that. This is going to be, no one's going to like this prediction, but I think the Commanders will beat the Rams in Los Angeles week 15. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. One, I think the Commanders have a significantly better defense than the Los Angeles Rams. You have plenty of offensive weapons on this team. The big question is really how good is Sam Howell going to be? And he was pretty good against the very good Dallas Cowboys defense and the only game he played last season, but we are yet to see if he's that consistent. But coming off of bye week for the Washington Commanders, give me the Washington Commanders in that game, 4-10. Now, week 16, I have the Rams beating the New Orleans Saints in Los Angeles. I just have a feeling this is the type of game the Rams are going to win. I think the Saints are better than the Rams on both sides of the ball here, but I think the coaching difference is significant. I think Sean McVay is a way better coach than whatever coaching situation Dennis Allen, that's his name, than Dennis Allen in New Orleans. So give me the Rams at home in Los Angeles against the New Orleans Saints, 5-10 record. All right, so two game stretch, 2 away games. That was the final home game for the Los Angeles Rams. They're not beating the 49ers, and I don't think they're going to beat the New York Giants either. I think the Giants, again, are better than the Rams on both sides of the ball, especially now that they have Saquon Barkley signed, and the 49ers will not lose to the Los Angeles Rams unless the Rams are good and only sell tickets to Rams fans. So there you have it. I have a 5-win season for the Los Angeles Rams. Again, not a good season in the slightest. Very disappointing. Sean McVay might be close to retirement even despite how young he is. But look, what people need to realize, though, is that the Rams did this on purpose, okay? They sold their draft picks. They traded everything away just to get the best players they could for a single season so that they could win a Super Bowl. And guess what? They did. They achieved their goal, and now they're rebuilding. So you can't really be that surprised that the Rams have fallen back a little bit. But moving on to second in the NFC West, we have the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are a very underrated team. This team had a bunch of young talent last season in Tariq Woolen, Kenneth Walker. There are plenty of stars. Okay, rising stars on the Seattle team. They got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Good tight end room as well. Shaky offensive line. I think they might have gotten a guard in the draft as well. I can't really remember. And a bolstered defense with Devon Witherspoon. I don't think he's signed his rookie contract yet, but once he does, I think this Seattle Seahawks defense will be much improved. The run defense and the pass rush will be still a little bit shaky. They do have Bobby Wagner back, though. So I think there's a bunch of potential for the Seahawks to improve, and I think they will. And I don't think there's any reason that Geno Smith will regress from what he did last season. He's still in the same system, same coach. He only has more weapons available to him. I think he'll only get better, if you ask me. But nonetheless, we just did this prediction for week 1. Seahawks are beating the Rams week 1 in Seattle. Headed into week 2, I'm yet to witness the Lions beat the Seattle Seahawks. So give me the Seahawks here. The Seahawks always beat the Lions, and they only got better. They beat them pretty handedly last season as well. So I know the Lions got really significantly better as well. But give me a 2-0 start for the Seattle Seahawks. Week 3, I have a little bit of an upset. I have them losing to the Carolina Panthers in Seattle. This happened last season as well. I think the Panthers improved significantly. And I know earlier I explained this, but when predicting the NFL, one thing to notice is that weeks 3 to 4, there's usually a lot of upsets because I feel like teams will slip up at least once because teams are still figuring stuff out. If they haven't won a game, they're going to be very thirsty and hungry to win a game. And unless they're like super bad, they'll win. They'll get a W. So I say the Seattle Seahawks slip up, lose week 3 against the Carolina Panthers. Headed into week 4, another great game in New York. I think the Seahawks are a better team than the Giants. Giants they're pretty even defensively, I want to say, and I think the Seahawks get the edge with the offense. Seahawks did handle the Giants last season pretty well. I think the Seahawks got better again, so I say the Seahawks beat the New York Giants in week 4. 3-1 start, headed into an early bye week in week 5. Coming out of the bye week, I originally had the Seahawks winning this game, and I'm going to stick with it because we don't know about Joe Burrow's injury. If he's not playing this game, I'm very confident that the Seahawks will win this game. But, I think the Seahawks, dare I say it, might have a better team defensively in 2023 than the Cincinnati Bengals. So, combine that with 2 high-powered offenses and the Seahawks coming off of a bye, give me the win for the Seahawks. I would not be shocked. Give me the win. Week 7, Seahawks are going to beat the Cardinals. We already know this. The Seahawks will sweep the Cardinals. Week 8, a home game for the Cleveland Browns. Seattle Seahawks will beat the Cleveland Browns. Easy as that. 6-1. I think, look, the Browns are a great team, but this game is in Seattle. I think the Seahawks are better offensively. The Browns have the edge defensively, I would say. But I think the offense of the Seahawks pushes them over the edge and gets them the win. Week 9 in Baltimore. I think Baltimore, I don't think they have a better offense, but I do think that the defense is better than Seattle, and it's in Baltimore. So give me a 6-2 record headed into week 10. Home game against the Commanders. Seahawks are going to win that game. 7-2 for the Seahawks. Week 11, this was my upset doing the Rams predictions. I have the Rams beating the Seahawks coming off of their bye week in Los Angeles. So 7-3 for the Seahawks. Now we head into a Thursday night football game, week 12, home game in Seattle against the San Francisco 49ers. Holy, this is going to be very entertaining. I can't wait to watch the 49ers and Seahawks games. I think they're going to be bloodbaths. These games are going to be intense and very competitive. First game, though, I think the 49ers are a better team than the Seahawks. Great offensive line. Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Purdy, and the best defense in the NFL. So give me the 49ers starting off. So that's 4 losses for the Seattle Seahawks. Week 13, I have them losing against the Dallas Cowboys. Let me see if I can. Again, I think the Cowboys are probably better than the Seahawks on both sides of the ball. Cowboys have plenty of weapons offensively. Tony Pollard looked really good. Tony Pollard looked great last season. Bolstered receiving core with Brandon Cooks. They did lose Dalton Schultz, but I think they'll be all right. Great offensive line and outstanding defense in Dallas. Give me the Cowboys. 7-5 for the Seattle Seahawks. Let's see if I can fix this, man. I don't know why it's giving you sneak peeks, but here we go. Now, week 14. Like I said, it's very difficult for teams to win 2 games in 3 weeks. So, in San Francisco, give me the Seattle Seahawks to have them trading away wins in the division. 8-5 for the Seahawks. Have them beating the 49ers. Great game. It's going to be outstanding. Head into week 15, back in Seattle against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles handle that game. Don't think the Seahawks will beat the Eagles in that one. So that is a 8-6 record. Now, good stretch here for the Seattle Seahawks. I think they'll easily get a W against the Tennessee Titans. 9-6. Pittsburgh Steelers will be a great game. Wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers win this one, but I am giving it to the Seahawks. I think they edged the Steelers out offensively, and they're going to beat the Cardinals in Week 18, bringing them to an 11-6 record, which will probably be the 5th seed in the NFL, I think. Because I think the Cowboys are a better team than the Seattle Seahawks, but the Cowboys have a much more difficult schedule than the Seattle Seahawks. So I think this Cowboys, honestly, they might be the 6th or 7th. I think the Cowboys will be the 6th seed. And I know they are still 8-9, but I still have them in the 6th seed. That's how bad the NFC is. And I'm giving the 5th seed to the Seattle Seahawks. And then we'll move on to our final team in the NFC West, who is none other than the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously a heartbreaker for the 49ers, ending their 2023 NFL season when all of their quarterbacks were hurt for the NFC Championship game. Obviously, Trey Lance went down earlier in the season. Jimmy Garoppolo went down later in the season. Brock Purdy goes down in this game. And then Josh Johnson gets hurt. So 49ers ended up running the football on almost every play. And as much as I love Christian McCaffrey, Falcons fans, this is why you can't run the ball every play, especially against good teams. Granted, the Falcons don't play a lot of good teams. But it won't work. It won't work. I don't think it'll work. Desmond Ridder needs to be able to make good passes down the field. Despite that, we'll start off week 1 at the Pittsburgh Steelers for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm just saying, 49ers usually don't start off very hot. Steelers usually do. Upset. I say the Steelers beat the 49ers week 1. I will not be shocked at all in the slightest to see this happen. It'd be such a fun game. Look, both teams, Steelers have a great defense, just like the 49ers. Great coaching, a little bit of a worse offense, but hey, maybe 49ers still got some things to figure out, and they lose week 1 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 2 at the Los Angeles Rams. 49ers own the Rams at this point, 1-1. Moving on to week 3, home game against the New York Giants. I do like the Giants, but I think the 49ers will beat them at home. Nothing too surprising there. 2-1 start for the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Woo! This is a great rivalry game right here. Week 5, home against the Dallas Cowboys. Would not be shocked to see the Dallas Cowboys win this game, but they did, however, lose to Brock Purdy and the 49ers in the NFC wildcard. So give me the 49ers. 4-1 start for San Francisco. Week 6, Browns are coming off of their bye week. Wouldn't be surprised to see an upset here, but I am not confident enough to say that the Browns are going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Look, every game except for the NFC Championship game that Christian McCaffrey has played for the 49ers, they have won. I think the Steelers, that'll be a little bit of a fluke. Don't think you're going to do it twice against the Cleveland Browns. Week 7 at the Minnesota Vikings, despite it being in Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is awful. So I think the 49ers have their way with the Vikings, especially with the amount of defense that they have. We saw last season the Cowboys beat the Vikings 40-3 in Minnesota last year. I think this is one of those type of games. 6-1 start for the not Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers. Moving on to week 8. Again, is Joe Burrow playing? I don't know. If he's not, I'd say the 49ers win this game easily. If he is, though, I say the Bengals win this game. I think the Bengals might be a very slightly better team than the 49ers. I just trust Joe Burrow more offensively than Brock Purdy. This game would be very entertaining. Would go either way, really. But I'm giving it to the Bengals. Moving on to week 9, a bye week for the 49ers. Week 10, another great game in Jacksonville. Jacksonville also coming off of their bye week, but I do think the 49ers, given that they have the best defense in the league and one of the best offenses in the league, I say they beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Sorry, Jaguars fans. It would be very fun to have you guys win the game, but honestly, I do think the 49ers will. Week 11, the 49ers are going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They killed the Buccaneers with Tom Brady on that team. Without Tom Brady, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. See what I did there? Holly, you probably didn't. Maybe you did. Week 12 against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a win. We already said this last time. I think the 49ers start off the series with the Seattle Seahawks with the W. Week 13 at the Philadelphia Eagles, rematch of the NFC Championship game. Despite Purdy hopefully being healthy. Look, they also have Sam Darnold and Trey Lance on this team. Trey Lance yet to prove himself. Sam Darnold, I think, will prosper in this system. So, either way, I think the Eagles are going to win. Enough said. Week 14, I have the 49ers losing to the Seattle Seahawks. Upset alert. Think it'll be nice. You get it. But, I think it'll be, I think the Seattle Seahawks will upset the 49ers. I already talked about all of that. They will beat the Arizona Cardinals. Week 16, a home game against the Ravens. The 49ers will win that game. It'll be very entertaining. It's always a great game, very close. 49ers will beat the Baltimore Ravens in San Francisco. They'll beat the Commanders, and they'll beat the Rams. So a 13-4 record for the San Francisco 49ers. That is your NFC West. If you don't remember, we have the Arizona Cardinals finishing 2-15, Los Angeles Rams finishing 5-12, the Seattle Seahawks finishing 11-6, and the San Francisco 49ers finishing 13-4, winning the NFC West. This is what's going to happen. I'm pretty confident that this is how it's going to play out. Usually, sometimes I get a little bit shaky. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys or the Giants do better, but I think I'm going to get it spot on. I say that and I'm going to be completely wrong, but I think I'm going to get it pretty spot on. But with that concludes my NFC West predictions. We only have one division left before I am done predicting the NFL, and we can start talking about fantasy football and things of the sort. But yeah, we only have the NFC South. Only the NFC South left. Hopefully, I can get that out on Tuesday. But yeah, should be a good time. And then after that, from there, we might be able to even do my playoff predictions, and I can drop my bomb on you about the Super Bowl. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I don't know. We will see. But until next time, I thank you. Thank you to everybody that came in, tuned in, and watched. Holly, thank you for being present in the chat. I always appreciate it. And with that, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. and I hope you don't step on any Legos and you drink lots of water. All right. Bye.